So, we saw that what are these Shad Darshans. We also saw, and Shad Darshan is 6 schools of philosophy. Then also we saw Buddhist, and we now compared Vedanta and we tried to find what logical, where if they are not matching, then there is a logical inconsistency. So that is what we did. Then it reiterated then what is it that Vedanta is talking about. And it did talk about this, it re-emphasized the fact that one cannot miss Vedanta, Ishvara in Vedanta, and the ultimate vision of Vedanta is not just ending at Ishvara, but also seeing the truth of the Ishvara, where you find your own truth. Yeah. So that means that is something which was mentioned. Now, the more you, and then it was said that how now, the more you imagine because of some grace and your own preparation, what was mentioned is you first start with one discipline, then you start with second discipline. The more and more you evolve yourself, more and more what appropriate teachers come to you. So this is how it happens. In fact, even it's the same thing in school, it's nothing new to Vedanta. In first standard, your brain is what? Relatively less developed. You have what? First grade teachers. Because if you have PhD teachers in your first grade, there is a mismatch. Then when you move to the second grade, what happens? You have second grade teachers. What different from first grade teachers? Then the secondary school you go, you have different teachers. Then you go to undergraduate, you have different. What have you done? The more and more you have learned, the more and more you have prepared yourself to learn from what? The higher level of people. That is how it is in every knowledge. Ultimately, you enroll for a PhD class, the person knows a lot more than primary school. Right? What has happened? You have increased your level and now you have a teacher which is matching your level, what you need to know. It's exactly the same thing that through journeys of our life, what the teacher, see, you can't go and look for a teacher. So that means, of course, there is some free will and using your discretion, it is true. And teacher also has teacher's discretion. It's not like our teacher used to say that, yeah, whoever comes to me, somehow Ishvara has sent. And if the person is not ready, the person will not last for too long. It's a natural selection. Natural selection. People will drop out on their own. He said, I don't need to do anything. People will drop out for one reason or the other. In the previous times, people actually selected. So he used to tell us a story that imagine somebody went to a teacher and said, I want to learn Brahma Vidya. And imagine the teacher thought that you are not quite ready for it and it is not going to be it is going to be counterproductive for you, because you know how these Vedanta messages can be totally construed to be completely different and you can really be in a delusional state, deluded state. So that means one has to be careful. So what he said is, the teacher would very quietly say, I will teach you, no problem. So if the teacher is in north, he will tell, you go to Rameshwaram and come back and then I'll teach you. Now what happens? The person goes with the intention that okay, now I'm going to Rameshwaram and I'm going to come back. Then what happens? He goes, if the person does not have enough maturity, what will happen? He'll meet some woman, he'll fall in love, then he'll get married, have kids. So now what has happened? He was supposed to go to Rameshwaram and come back. What has happened? Got distracted. So this is how it kind of, so that means if you're really interested, then what you will go, not get distracted and come back. And hopefully during the journey, you will learn your lessons. So when you come back, you're a mature person. So that at least a good recipient of knowledge. So that means my teacher used to say, hey, I'm very generous with my knowledge. I don't make those kind of selections. People had selections, only a Brahmin boy, also male, for the longest time. So this is why sometimes you see all these great scholars, but when they give public talks, they only talk about Ramayana and Mahabharata. There is an assumption that a normal public, you can't give away this topmost knowledge. You just stay with what stories and talk little bit about dharma, which will inspire them, which will get their life on track, and over a period of time, they will become ready. So this is why he used to sometimes say, he used to go and give classes like in big halls, public talks. And for that public talk, there will be like thousands of people. So it is like, huge. And obviously his level was pretty high. So what will happen? He said, I'm ready, I'm already anticipating that out of these 1,000 people, only 1 or 2 people will take up Vedanta as what serious study. He said, it's okay, I don't mind. I just have to go and expose people, then people who are attracted, they will come. So that means there is some kind of a natural selection also. Even if the teacher goes out of the way and makes the effort, there is a natural selection. So that means one has to keep on preparing yourself so that the right teacher comes. Because you don't know, but the thing is that in this teacher and student coming together, there is a play of Ishvara. There is a big role of Ishvara. So this is where one has to keep preparing oneself. Now, the more the person prepares oneself and the person gets the right teacher, and with the right teaching, the knowledge begins to be clear. Now, when there is clarity, in the seeker of knowledge, the nature of prayers change. And this is one such prayer. It's a beautiful prayer, because in that prayer you are showing that you understand what is the nature of Ishvara. You don't just say, Ishvara, which is some higher entity, God knows what it is, and to that I'm praying. Hey, the prayer itself shows how beautiful the prayer is. It's in one verse, the Mumukshu shows how much he has understood about the nature of pursuit. So, the prayer is, Yo Brahmanam.
This we know,
yeah, we know. Yo Brahmanam vidadati purvam, yo vai vedanscha prahinoti tasmai, taha devagam atma buddhi prakasham, mumukshur vai sharanamaham prabhadye. Beautiful prayer. It says that, he says mumukshu. So I am a mumukshu and I am sharanam. I am coming to your refuge. And who are you? It says, you Ishvara, from whom comes what? Brahmaji. Brahmaji is the creation, the creative force. Then you brought to manifestation Brahmaji, the creation, the force which makes everything what it is, and you are the one to whom you are the one who gave Vedas, which is the knowledge of what is the nature of creation, to that Brahmaji. So that means you are the one who created Brahmaji, and to whom you gave the Veda. Then that being, which is, now where do I find this being? Atma Buddhi Prakasham. That creative force which has created Brahmaji and to whom the Vedas were given, you are also in me, Atma Buddhi Prakasham. You are also shining where? In my own Buddhi as I. And to this that I am propitiating as a mumukshu, give me the clarity, let me understand you totally. Such a beautiful prayer. It shows the level of maturity, just that mumukshu has reached what level. Yeah, so this is what it says. Now, what does it mean? Now this shows exactly what Ishvara is. The person understands what Ishvara is and also what is to be understood by Vedanta. What does this show? In this, what is shown is Ishvara is the one from which the entire universe comes. Because you created the creative force from where the entire universe has come. And along with the universe has come what Vedas means, what the key to the universe. Which tells you what is the real nature of the universe. Every cycle of creation comes with what? The knowledge of the creation. Otherwise there would be a defect. If nobody has knowledge, then how will the knowledge pass on? So it comes with the knowledge as a potential. Somebody collapses it. So the knowledge comes in form of the Vedas, body of knowledge. Veda literally means it's a body of knowledge. Body of knowledge about what? The true nature of creation. So, along with the creation comes what? The body of knowledge which reveals what is the nature of creation. Now, that entity which creates the whole universe and the Vedas, where is it? In my buddhi. I have to, as a result of understanding of Veda, what I have to understand the person knows. That I have to understand that Ishvara as abiding in me. That is what? You're in my Atma Buddhi Prakasham. You're actually shining in my Buddhi as Atma. But I still don't know it. I'm still a mumukshu. I still don't get it. So help me, what? I'm at your refuge. Help me to see your true nature. This is the prayer of a mumukshu to Ishvara. So this is what we call an intelligent prayer. So what is beautiful is, these ideas which are such sophisticated ideas, they are very refined ideas. These ideas are available in the culture in the simplified forms. Simplified forms. So there were all these saints who have communicated exactly the same ideas. So there is a very beautiful, there are 2-3 saints that I would like to quote because they actually talk Vedanta. There is one which is a Gujarati saint, which is, he's called Narsi Mehta, and he's the one who has written, this Vaishnava Janato, Tenere Kahiye, Je Veera Parayin Janere. That was Gandhiji's favorite bhajan. And he was a great saint. And any poem of his that you read, it just talks about Vedanta. So but they are all written in Gujarati. I mean, they are in local language, vernacular languages, but they are beautiful. So in this one poem, he says, Jagine Joto Jagat Dise Nahi. He says, when I am under the spell of ignorance, then I see the world. But when I lift my veils of ignorance, then I don't see what the world, I see only Ishvara. So when Jagine means after waking up from ignorance, when I see what Jagat, I don't see Jagat at all. When I thought was Jagat is now what? It's you. So these are the poems which are written, which are very commonly sung by people. And then there is a Meera Bhajan Meera Bhai was also a very big saint, and she wrote one bhajan. She said, "Bhavasagara sab sukh gaya hai, taranan jarur nahi mujhe taranan ki." Initially, I thought that there is, this very scary ocean of samsara, and I need to cross this ocean of samsara. Even crossing a river is such a struggle. Crossing an ocean is what? Almost impossible, not with the ship, but just on your own swimming. It is impossible. So then she says that first I thought it was such a daunting task to cross the ocean of samsara. It seems endless, like this the tree which has infinite branches. You don't know where to start, how to fathom. Then she says, Bhavasagara sab sukh gaya hai. When I begin to inquire, the entire ocean has dried up. I don't need to cross over anything. Because when I really see it with my knowledge, the eyes of knowledge, I don't see the world, I don't see samsara, I see only Ishvara. There is no need, and the truth of Ishvara, which is my truth. I don't need to cross anything. The entire samsara sukh gaya. It is all dried up with knowledge. These are people sing them. Even today. Then there is a very famous another song which almost everybody knows. Darashana do ghanashama nath mori akhiya pyasire. So that is, it says, Mandira Mandira Murat Teri. Fir bhi na dikhe Surat Teri. Yuga bitena ai minan ki purana masire. What it means? Mandira Mandir means your body is called temple. You are abiding in every body, not in every temple. You are abiding in every body which is a temple. But I still can't see you. Fir bhi na dikhe surat teri. I still can't see you. I only see the body. Yuga bitena ai milanaki. Yugas have passed and you are right there, but I can't see you. Billions of years have passed and I can't see you. Milanaki Purana Masire. Today is Purnima. Purnima is a full moon. When there is full moon, everything is beautiful. Yesterday when we were coming back, it was about to be full moon. You saw the reflection of moon on Ganga. It was just mesmerizing. So this beautiful day of my ability to see you as present in me and also in everyone else, that Purana day, the full moon day hasn't come. Yugas have passed. Darashana do ghanasham. You make me see your true nature. These are all songs that everybody sings. Unfortunately, their meaning escapes them. They don't know what they are singing.
From whom is the song? Who composed it?
This Darshana do ghanasham is attributed to whom? Surda? I don't know. Huh? Kabir?
I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure. But Kabir has all Kabir bhajans are like that. Surya saw in Bangkok when we were living, he saw a movie, which was a very nice movie. I missed it, I couldn't find car park and I went all around and I missed the movie. But he, yeah really, in Bangkok once you go off, you are off. So he went and he saw a movie of Kabir. And in that, you know how they shoot, huh? They shoot these panwalas in small villages. All of them are sitting at night under the sky, open sky, and they are singing Kabir bhajans. And all Kabir bhajans are talking about nothing but Vedanta in a simple Hindi language. So then, some of them, they interview them and they ask, so now what do you understand? Because it was a movie. Documentary. So then they ask, so now you are singing all these bhajans and all, so what are you really understanding from this? So they, it's not like they can give all these arguments that Vedanta that we study. Of course not, they can't, right? But almost all of them have said that what Bhagwan sab mein hai. One thing they get very clearly, that what Ishvara is everywhere. Because this singing, of course you don't understand the intricacies, but that one central message travels. So this is why our teacher used to say, this is not just, people ask, so how much of Vedanta is there in India? Yes, of course, Vedanta as a study is not that extensive, obviously. But this vision of Vedanta at some basic level, not some sophisticated level, the basic level, it is throughout the country. Unless your psyche is spoilt by certain things, there is an innate wisdom that is passing on for generations. Through these songs, there is a whole big culture which is around it. And this is why even today, the person may not understand why I am doing it. What today a dancer dances, before dancing, what does she do? She touches the ground. Why does she touch the ground? Because the ground is Ishvara. And she is going to what? Stamp on the ground. So she is asking for pardon. It's embedded in the culture. So that means, that's why Swamiji said this Vedic vision is not just in the books, there is a whole culture around this Vedic vision. This is why people have different relationship with the rivers. Of course they dump it also, there is not that they don't, of course that is there. But you can't only look at that, this is the problem. People only complain about that, but there is another side to it, which is what every day people come and they pray to the river. That is also true. People have trees and you very often see some red thread. So that means relationship with objects is not as objects but as Ishvara. That's when we used to live by the beach, and on the beach every morning people travel, they come for a walk on Juhu Beach, and so many people, to my surprise, I saw that at the time of the sunrise they all stand and they do like this. Many, not all, many. So that means there is a culture around the vision. Around a very profound vision, there is a whole big culture. So this is why, and he says, the biggest tragedy is you are born in this culture with this amazing vision and you make zero effort to either know it or to live it. It's a pity. Few people do it, it's not nobody does it, but you can be in midst of it and still you may not get it. There is, now last, then I have to move to the next verse. There was a very nice, a friend of mine, her son was getting married, so he brought this Rinpoche. Rinpoche is this Tibetan Buddhism, and they have these teachers, so Dalai Lama, and then there are all these others, so they are called Rinpoche, They are called Rinpoche. So he had come and he was doing the ceremony. And the ceremony was beautiful, and then he was kind of, explaining the meaning of the ceremony. Somebody asked, so what did you do? He was, chanting some Tibetan mantras and all that. And he gave a beautiful answer. He said, no, somebody asked, what is the meaning of marriage according to Buddhism, or something like that, they asked. And what he replied was very nice. He said, he was a very wise man. He said that for us, the marriages are not made to bind each other and to control each other, but marriages are made for two human beings coming together for their own freedom. And each one helps the other in discovering their freedom. Nirvana. Not to cling on, not to get stuck, not to get, hey, I've come on this earth for my freedom and I need a partner to help me reach my, and the other partner, each one helps the other in the pursuit of freedom. People were like, wow. And I said, this is exactly what Hindus, they did. Kal and Yuta did the ceremony last time. And it is exactly, we explained that two human beings coming together for moksha. There is a small little ritual that we enacted for Kal and Yuta, which was also the ritual that we enacted when we got married. So,
and but it's exactly the day today. 1 year.
Today is the exact day.
Yes, exactly the 13th December. Funny that you are just
see how I just mentioned.
yeah.
See, I tell you, when I sit on this seat, things come. I didn't have any preparation that I'm going to talk about Yuta and Kal, but it just came. So, we did for you the ritual, which is also what we did. So there is one little ritual where what the couple is about to get married. This is called Kashi Yatra. So what happens is that the husband panics just before getting married.
Means I panic.
It's true. So
It can happen, no?
but they enacted, did you enact, you enacted this?
No, not this part, I think.
No, this part we didn't.
You didn't do it?
But you were telling your own story.
Yeah,
When you was going with the Veda and
Yes,
your father was
exactly,
running.
absolutely, exactly. So then, I said, we didn't enact this part.
No.
You two did not enact this part. So what happened is, in this, we enacted this part because this is part of this South Indian wedding. So Surya had to take all these Veda books, and then all of a sudden, just before marriage, he's saying, now I don't want to get married and all, it will bind me. I want to go to Kashi. Yeah, I want to go to Kashi. Kashi stands for Moksha, Banaras. So I want to go to Kashi, so I'm not interested, I'm going. This is how, there is a part of a ritual like that. And then my father
So I went out.
Yeah.
We walk out.
Yeah, you physically walk out of this. Yeah, exactly. There's a stage walk out.
And there is a pair of slippers and an umbrella which is
Umbrella.
given.
Yeah.
Umbrella.
Umbrella.
Yeah, that you carry with
That
you.
you carry.
And Vedas with you.
Vedas with you. There are 3 things given. Food you will figure on the way.
Food you'll figure on the way. Because once you are committed to the Vedas, food will come.
Correct.
So, then he's going. Then now my father has to convince him not to go to Kashi, but to Srinath. So then he goes to her and goes to him and tells him that, hey, why are you going away? He says, no, I'm not interested in this marriage and all. I want to know the reality. So my father tells him that you want the reality, my daughter will help you to know that reality. She will not come on your way of knowing reality. So this is the idea of marriage. That each one helps the other one in the journey of moksha. You are not an obstruction. Marriage is not an obstruction.
And most people are getting the reality in marriage now.
Sometimes, yeah. So this is what it was. Second, and that exactly matches with this Rinpoche's answer. There are a lot of similarities. Then the other question that somebody asked, and she said that, I want to inculcate values to my kids who are growing up, they're 8, 10 years old. So what should I do to inculcate spiritual values in my kids? So that was the other question that somebody asked to Rinpoche. Rinpoche's answer was brilliant. What he said is, what would be the answer generally? What would you answer? Let's hear a little bit.
I would say you have to live this.
Yes.
With the child.
By example.
Yeah.
You have to.
You walk
Live
your
by
talk.
example.
The child can pick it up from you.
Yeah, you just walk your talk. Yeah, that's a good answer, but that is
Good
a
enough.
kind of predictable answer. His answer was quite unpredictable.
Ah.
Anybody else has any idea? I mean, everybody would say almost the same, right?
Give them the power to make their own choices by deciding.
Yeah, but I mean, see, these are all nice, beautiful answers. You know, like the answer he gave was actually quite clever. I really liked it. What he said is, you know what? You don't have to make any effort. You're born in a land which is what? A spiritual country. Spirituality is all around you. If you are a little bit sensitive, you'll pick it up. Amazing. So that means, this is where India is fascinating. On one hand, there is dirt, there is chaos, all this is true. Nobody is denying. But along with it, there is an alive culture. People do this. Why do they do this? Because every woman is supposed to know that my body is a temple. And just as I adorn the deity, I also have to adorn myself. Every day you have to remind yourself that I am one of the manifestations of Ishvara. By doing this. My teacher was completely free of rules. But one thing he would say, put this. Put this because you have to remind yourself. You can't forget that. You will not struggle with your self-esteem. You will not think that I am no good if you every day remind yourself that I am one of the manifestations of Ishvara. The ideas have to be concretized in form of actions. Every idea, in order to make it real, you need to formulate in form of an action. So this is why these pujas and all are very, very important, because we only use our mind. We don't use other faculties. But a human being is not just a cognitive thinking. Human being is an emotional being. Human being is that there's a sense of ethics and that, and you live within forms and you need to have a corresponding expression. There are some, who are physical beings. You need to have different expressions, not just cognitive expressions. Because the nature of reality is multifaceted. And our minds are also multifaceted. So you'd have to have different expressions. So this is why, when people are doing bhajans and all, which part of them is coming out? Not the cognitive part. Which part? The heart. Beautiful. Through that heart, they are expressing that relationship. Wonderful. You need it. When you are helping other person, how are you expressing your understanding of connection with the universe? Through your actions. That is, in that act of giving and reaching out to help, is your understanding of your connection with the other person and your connection with Ishvara. You need to concretize it. That's why you have to become bigger, you have to become larger, you have to become magnanimous. You have to do all of that because that is how it is. That is your growth. Otherwise it only remains this is this, this is this. This is not, that's not the only thing. That is important, very important, but it's not the only way. You have to cultivate other areas. The prayers, the rituals, all these, they have their own place. And not only that, they nourish different part of the brain. So, your relationship with Ishvara has to become complete and multifaceted. Because your mind is multifaceted and Ishvara is also multifaceted. Not only one thing. You can do sand art to express your connection. Infinite choices, actions. So, this is how the mumukshu's prayers begin to change. Mumukshu's way of operating in the world begins to change. The quality, the person begins to be noble human being. Free from clutter, free from confusion, free from all these tapes. And has to clean oneself up. So this is what this is a life of a mumukshu. So now let's go to the next verse. This is exactly what he says. Tapaha prabhavat deva prasadacha brahma Shvetashvatara atha vidvan ati ashramibhya paramam pavitram prauvacha samyak Rishi Shvetashvatara.
Where is the previous one?
This one is left out.
Nishkalam, Nishkriyam.
Okay, sorry. Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam, Nirabadhyam, Niranjanam, Amrutasya Param Setu, Dagdham, Anivanalam. Okay, so that means he again says, this is again the prayer of a mumukshu. The ultimate thing that I need to understand is I seek refuge in that Lord who is without parts, then without actions, tranquil, blameless, not connected to anything as such, the supreme bridge to immortality, like a fire that has consumed all its fuel. So that means, now, first it says that first prayer is that from which Brahmaji comes, from which Vedas come, the one who is in my buddhi as Atma, to him I, as a mukshu, offer my prayers, so that he reveals its nature to me. The second verse is again, because of Vedanta Shastra, the person understands ultimately what do I need to understand about the truth of Ishvara. He says, I want to know what this Lord, the Ishvara, which is what? Without parts, seems to be divided in parts, but in fact itself is free from parts. In fact, one need not even say like that. One has to say, it is every form, and at the same time, it is what? Also not only that form. That is the real meaning. Otherwise, what seems to be, this is only an appearance and Ishvara is something else. No. This is what this his question was. So, if everything is Ishvara, why don't I only talk about this Ishvara? No. That's not how you get Ishvara, because Ishvara is that and Ishvara is the form. So that means you have to understand that entirely understanding of Ishvara means it is the form, but it is not only that form. It is much more than that form. It is a law, but it is much more than the law. So that means the total understanding of Ishvara is not, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. Satya Mithya relationship means what? It doesn't mean Mithya is unreal and only Satyam is Satyam. That is a wrong understanding that we have. While Mithya is what? So, this is how it is. Our teacher used to say, B is equal to A, but A is not equal to B. So that means beggar is an actor. There cannot be a beggar without an actor, but actor is not a beggar. You can't say that actor is only an actor. Then who is this beggar? The understanding of Mithya is not, the previous level is unreal and appearance, so I let go. That is a wrong understanding. So that means you have to understand Ishvara as what? Ishvara, that's why the whole Upanishad is that. Ishvara is the sun, but sun is Ishvara, but Ishvara is what? Not only the sun. The Rudra is Ishvara, but Ishvara is not only Rudra. If you eliminate all these forms as something other than Ishvara because they are Mithya, hey, you don't get it. Mithya, in Mithya, what? That Mithya is not away from Satyam. Satyam is more than Mithya. So that means, what is this Upanishad is saying? Upanishad is saying the sun is Ishvara, the moon is Ishvara, the laws are Ishvara. So your understanding of Ishvara cannot stop only at what? Oh, all knowledge and all power. Hey, that all knowledge and all power, when it manifests in the universe, is what? The sun. Sun is Ishvara. But Ishvara is not only the sun. Don't say, because it is Mithya, then Ishvara is only. That is not right understanding. So this is why in every form, you can't skip the form. The form is Ishvara. You can't skip the law. Law is Ishvara. But Ishvara is much more than the form and much more than what? The law. A is B, but B is A is not B. So this is what it is. So now here it says that itself, finally, every form is Ishvara, every law is Ishvara. Ishvara is that which is what? Manifest and unmanifest. Everything, all of this, sentient, insentient. Otherwise, you don't need to talk about Ishvara. If Ishvara was just knowledge and power, you don't need to talk about all, because all of this is Ishvara. That means your understanding of Ishvara cannot remain, oh, Ishvara is only knowledge and power, then all this is just Mithya. Mithya is where Ishvara is also. So therefore, but itself from its own stand, ultimately what does Ishvara know?